Cross-examine me. Episode 1 million.
You're going to just confuse the hell out of yourself when you start editing these.
What? Yeah, like I'm going to put episode... I'm going to do it. Episode 1 million. We made it.
We're the best.
It'll trick people into actually subscribing if I put the, number 1 million in front of it. Or behind it.
This week, we are talking
behind it.
About My Senpai is Annoying, Blue Period, Deep Insanity, The Lost Child, Platinum End, and Sakugan. It's episodes 4, 5, and 6.
Correction. I'm talking about Senpai. You're talking about that other bullshit.
Oh, you didn't go through and what you said you were going to do last night?
No, I watched half of that other episode. I was like, nah, fuck this shit. I'm done with the show.
Okay.
Hey, man, that was your pick, man. My picks have been solid. Name one pick I've made that hasn't been solid. Oh, knew it. All my picks have been solid.
You didn't really make any picks.
What?
There were already a lot of stuff that was mutually like.
That was totally your pick there, boy.
Yeah, because we need one more.
Yeah,
I was like,
and
this one looks interesting.
I was going to pick that Chinese character one. You should have watched My Senpai is Annoying, but you didn't want to watch Senpai.
Yeah, still don't want to watch it. Get fucked, bitch.
It's fucking good. Basically nothing happened in My Senpai is Annoying because, like I said, slice of life. We have that's a downside of slice of life anime. It's basically the same thing every single time. Like I said with Restaurant. So basically, Senpai, I watched episode 4, 5, and 6 this week. Big things that happen. Somebody's shown you how big the guy is from My Senpai is Annoying.
Yeah.
So just a size comparison. So the main girl, Igarashi, in My Senpai is Annoying, her grandpa is a really, really buff, like, gilf basically. Really, like, chatted out looking grandpa. He looks like if Fiora Bradley was older and had, like, green hair instead. That's one of the comments someone made. He shows up because Igarashi has her birthday, and Igarashi and her senpai Takada are shopping, and then they have this cute moment of like Igarashi's buying some flowers, and Takada's like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "I'm buying flowers for my birthday, buying myself a birthday present." He's like, "Oh," she's like, "Senpai, it's my birthday. I get it. You don't have to buy me anything." He's like, "It's my birthday too," and I'm like, "Oh my god, they have the same fucking birthday. Where is this going?" So they just buy each other flowers, exchange them in the shop, walk outside. Her grandpa, like a total fucking badass, is riding a fucking Harley chopper down the street at like 80 miles an hour, and there's a residential 25. Stops on a dime, sees his daughter. He's like, "Yo, who's this guy with you?" He's like, "Oh, well, I'm her senpai. Who are you?" It's like, well, "I'm her granddad." "You jerk." And he's like, "What gives you the idea to call me a jerk?" "You're a jerk. I can call you a jerk because I'm older." And then obviously that whole like Japanese culture thing steps in of like, he's fucking right. And then the whole episode just turns into a fucking pissing contest between her senpai and her granddad. Literally, this is the pissing competition, right? We actually start out with a pissing competition, basically at the urinal. They meet each other again in the fucking bathroom, and they're trying to see who can get done first to go talk to Igarashi. And the top thing was, oh shoot, where is it? Oh, I lost it. Oh my god. I did lose it. Oh my god, I can't find it. Oh, whatever. Fuck it. I can't remember the whole thing. There was no. So like, he and her dad show up. They have a competition. You know, they're basically pissing in the bathroom. Who can get done first? Then they go and get beers, and they both basically try and outdrink each other. Then they run into each other again at the gym, seeing who can work out more. And they're both just fucking big, swole dudes. Then they show up at a food shop. Who can eat more? They eat about the same. Like, they're literally like the same person, just old and young. And then finally they're like, oh, you find out Senpai goes to this regular ramen shop, and he's helping the owner and the local community clean up trash. They have like a community day. And he's picking up trash. And her granddad shows up like, oh, what's going on here? And some random person hands her a trash bag, and then they have a competition of who can pick up the most fucking trash. I'm like, this is the perfect competition. They should be doing they should try and get them to compete more often in community service things. Because it gets to the end, they're just fucking surrounded with fucking trash bags of trash that they picked up. And they're like, you know what? Maybe you're not such a bad guy. And I'm like,
someone put those fuckers on a beach. Hashtag Team C's.
He was looking at you, Mr. Beast. The only other interesting part in this show was they had a Valentine's Day episode. And, they have on Valentine's Day, usually the girls give guys chocolate that they like. And then boys have White Day. And that's where the guys give girls chocolates. And that was the whole plot of the show. We go back instead of the Igarashi and Takada's kind of office relationship. You go to Sakurai's and Kazuma's relationship, kind of like the two other main side characters. And there's a point where Kazuma is walking around hoping he's going to get chocolates on Valentine's Day from Sakurai, because they've already gone on, like, I think a date is how they described it. They got food and drinks together. They played it up as kind of a date, not as a date. I don't know. It's still very vague. You can tell they like each other. And Kazuma is drinking Monster, right? Outside a convenience store. Sees Sakurai talking, but there's a guy she's talking to, and he's taller than her. In episode 4, you meet Sakurai's little brother, but he's walking up on the bricks, so all Kazuma can see is the top of his head, talking to Sakurai, thinking, oh, she has a boyfriend. My life is over. He drops, like, the Monster can. And nonchalantly, like, this kid and this mom walk by, Mommy, look at that man. She's like, don't worry, he's depressed. And the whole rest of the episode, you just see her talking, getting excited about wanting to give Kazuma chocolate, but not really admitting it. And then Kazuma, every other shot you see him, he's got, like, he's trying to eat food and it's just falling on the floor because he's just not thinking about it. Then you see him drinking, like, 40 Monster cans, just depressed, but keeps missing, like, drinking Monster. Until finally...
Such a waste of money.
Until finally, yes, it's a waste of money. Until Sakurai runs into him on the steps of the office. She's like, why are you so depressed? He's like, oh, I don't know. I'm just out of it. She's like, here's some chocolate. He's like, these are probably just courtesy chocolates. And there's like 10 Monster cans just laying around him that he's knocking over. She's like, these aren't courtesy chocolates. I made these for you. Have your cutesy moment. To then... they actually proceed to picking them up in the next scene and, like, throwing them away. And I was like, good job. But holy shit, that dude bought, like, 40 Monsters this episode. It's just sitting there.
Jesus.
I mean, there were a few things I skipped over, but all in all, those were, like, the best parts. The best part is just the interaction with, like, the grandpa.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, there is one other important thing I forgot to mention. They were both sick in one episode. Igarashi, the main girl, was sick. And then Takada came over to, like, make her food. It's like, I knew you wouldn't get the rest you needed. They have their cutesy moment. And I'm, like, looking at Takada. And I'm like, that dude barely fits in the fucking kitchen. He's just so fucking big, like, looking for shit. To then, 5 minutes later, he gets sick and she goes to take care of him. Because, they have that embarrassing office moment of, oh, they took care of each other. They probably banged. That's not what happened, but she takes care of him. And you have this realization of, like, oh, where's his oven mitts? It's like, oh, these oven mitts still have the price tag on them. They're still put together. How does he lift up pots and pans? It's like, yeah, he's got some pretty big hands. He's probably built up calluses, so he can just pick up pots. And I'm like, what? And it's like, yep, that's an idea. Like, he doesn't need pot, like, fucking gloves to pick up hot pans because his hands can just...
That is almost as ridiculous as our next show. Our character in that show has something that's like, that's a thing.
What, in Blue Period?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to move on to that?
We're just straight transitioning into that. You ruined the transition, Justus. You fucked it up. You fucked up the transition. I want the audience to know.
Yeah, well, it's better than your shit one.
Wow. I mean, why? Now you make me feel pretty blue about
it. With Blue Period, again, it's 4, 5, and 6.
Yo, Oba's back, fucking big woman. Yo, I fucking love that. Look how supportive she is. She even speaks English.
She says 2 words, 3 words.
Yeah, maybe she says more. Fuck out.
Yeah, well, you've only heard her say 3 words.
Listen, that's enough for me.
Yeah, and
that's enough for me.
You were like, yeah, she speaks English. There's a chance. And then you started watching it, and she's like, she's really bad at English.
It wasn't. Listen, the first time she said it, it was good. She said it 3 times in a row, and the third time she said it, it's like, okay, now, like, they're like, the voice actors must have been getting in their head about how to say it, because they obviously, like, tried to over-pronunciate.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, Blue Period is so... What was that, episode 5? When they do, like, the crazy... He's like, yes, I'm carving it into metal is basically my artwork.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh, this is where the budget went. Like, they put the budget perfectly where it needs to go.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good. The show is so fucking good.
Yeah, it's definitely continuously like building. There are some like stuff with the show, like Ryuji's character, where
Dude, the show's been getting darker and darker.
Yeah, and I think it's appropriate.
Yeah,
because
art school's not easy to get into.
Mm-hmm. But even taking like the art out of it, just if you don't think that this is like an art show and you think objectively of what the characters are going through, you can slot a lot of the struggles that they're having with like any other regular high schooler. And
well, even more so in Japan because they're really, because what is it, episode 6 where Ryuji has that kind of breakdown with with his father, where the father's banging on the door saying like, why are you like this?
I think it's like episode 5.
Well, yeah. And one of the episodes, like, you see it's kind of towards the opening of it, where Ryuji's kind of like crying in the room. They're very depressed.
Grandma MVP.
Yo, grandma is MVP. The dad bangs on the door, like, you're skipping classes. And it's like, you could tell, like, Ryuji's probably upset about something. Because we haven't seen Ryuji in like 2 or 3 episodes, and then they just come back in. So they're building up to, I think episode 7 might have something super. Yeah,
because you get reintroduced, and Ryuji like bumps into our main character Yadara, and literally just says "my bad" and leaves, and doesn't like actually attend class.
Usually Ryuji is like very upbeat, happy about life.
I will say there was one point, because it's after a couple of those scenes, Yadara is like getting ready to work on like his massive like canvas.
His I found out there
F100.
I didn't know they actually had that. I just thought they said like 4x8 or whatever, and they're like, nope, it's an F100. I'm like, yeah, I learned something new.
Yeah. Ryuji opens a window, and I was in Discord. That point where I randomly said like, oh, don't do that. I thought he was just going to jump out the window.
Yeah, I thought Ryuji was going to jump. I wrote that too. I was like, Ryuji, open the window. It's so beautiful outside, and kind of leaned forward. I'm like, please. Please.
Yeah, there are some shows that have taught me to just be cautious of like very small stuff where it's like, especially like between this week and last week, there's been some very, very dark episodes where it's
we're mid-season. And that's where stuff can really change.
Oh, yeah.
Because at this point, you've built up your characters, you've built up your story. Now this is where you either go up 1 or 2 more episodes, hit your peak, and then kind of mellow out with a good ending to your ending performance. I honestly thought they were going to kill off Ryuji. I was like, ooh, maybe this is where they kill Ryuji off. You learn why Ryuji's so depressed. You haven't seen Ryuji's mom yet, but grandma's over there supporting her.
Yeah, and
support your kids.
Look, at some point, it's kind of obvious what the problem is. There's a bit of an identity crisis there. Like, is a dude that likes to dress very feminine, but it is still a dude, and then is also gay in Japan.
Yeah, it's a weird thing, and I'm not saying it's weird, but it's like Japan doesn't really accept it like you could here.
Yeah, well, even here, the level of scrutiny you would get in high school, God. Yeah. Like, it'd be...
In high school, it'd be very, very... because it's anime they played up, because this is very, like, more true-to-life high school type of experience compared to some animes with, like Komi Can't Communicate is a good example where that's out there. This is very based in reality.
Yeah. Yatsuki, who...
Ryuji... I was going to say, Ryuji just needs to be held by Elba. That's all you need.
Yatsuki, who is prep school, kind of the like loner kid that does a very good job.
I want to see more of him.
Yeah,
I think his character is super interesting because he's very good at one thing, but he has that kind of problem of like he's not autistic.
I would say just socially awkward, and I would assume when he was younger, he was pushed towards art because he was socially awkward. He likes it, but he regrets it, and like
he regrets not. Well, he has said like, you had this very depressing moment of he says, "Yeah, my mom wants me to make friends. I don't have friends. I called you to prove I didn't have it." Then he like got upset and hung up because he actually does have a friend,
Mm-hmm.
but they're still in that stage of like, he's too socially awkward to know how to properly interact, and Yuichi's way too interactive because of his other friends.
Mm-hmm. And
I hope they all get. I hope they all
Ryuji,
get in. I
Yadara.
feel like, yeah. I feel like Yadara.
Oh,
Yuichi. That's what Oba calls him because it's his last name. Yadara is what his friends call him. I mean, Oba calls him. Whatever Oba calls people. You haven't heard Oba. Dude, she did the whole thing with the door again. She's like putting her arm up, just fucking.
yeah.
Oh my God. She's killing me. She's killing me.
I do like with this show just how supportive both of the art teachers have been. Oba gives very good constructive criticism and like tries to push our main character in like a good direction.
She doesn't say shit. He's like, listen, you did a bad job because of this, but I know you can do it.
Yeah, and then the actual high school art teacher, Masako, I get the list here. My cheat sheet. I love it so much. She doesn't really give criticism, but she does that like
she forces
try this.
Yeah, she forces people to try and find it out themselves.
Mm-hmm.
She gives you just enough that you can figure it out yourself. Also, his painting of he did the F100 painting, which was the melting ore. Wasn't at first. I thought it was like a sun. I'll be honest, but you didn't get to see the whole thing until he said it. I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, because it's the like forging of bonds is kind of like the representation of it, and like it's really cool.
Yo, the fucking cake was a lie. They literally have this episode where they're getting ready for winter break. Oba, real MVP, is making them cake. Look, Oba can cook too. Oh my God, Oba can cook. Make some cake. Or sorry, not cook, bake. And literally you're having this moment of like, oh, we're going to have a happy episode. And then literally, what's her name?
Maki.
Maki notices a piece of paper, lifts up the cake. It's like, yay, you have assignments. It's like, you motherfucker. Fucking evil woman. Mm-hmm. It seems like Yaguchi, yeah, is really trying. And Oba does make a good point of, I'm not going to give you 10 assignments because you got to learn how to do 5 and practice them very well. Mm-hmm. Just doing assignments isn't going to make you good. You need to like practice. And he's gotten better. Like,
well, he had 10 total assignments. He wants 10. He said he wanted 10 more. Then she said, "We're only going to give you 5 more." Yeah.
So he had 10 total
instead of 15.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, 15 painting assignments over a winter break is insane.
Yo, I can do it.
No,
I never said do good.
This one is 1 line. This one has 2 lines.
That was literally his assignment for
this next one. It has 4 lines. You would have never guessed.
It's crazy because they're giving him advice that an audience member can understand. Like, hey, draw this square and this. Sorry, draw this circle and triangle.
Yeah,
I filled this 100-page book. Draw 100 different compositions, and then you watch and you're like, oh, it makes sense. Like, the first 10 are going to be easy, but after that, you really have to think.
Mm-hmm.
You know what we should do? We should see if the art center's cool with it. We should go to the art center.
What do you mean?
Just go and enjoy art. Make a little vlog out of it for cross-examining.
I don't know if they have like video or photography there.
We'll have to ask. I wonder if they have the...
I think there's like a sign up front.
Is there?
It might be on their website. But
maybe you just can't take photos of it, but if it's like a video type... I don't know. We'll have to ask. I hope they have the giant blue plug there still.
Maybe. I know you can film outside, and they have sculptures outside.
That's my favorite thing of it. It's too cold to be outside. Fuck that shit. We should take an art class. That's what we should do. 1 art class.
So, real quick, because on the topic of like characters like having problems, Maki, very good, very very talented. Gets first place in the mock exam or one of the exams,
which is trouble.
That they have.
It usually means you're not going to pass.
Mm-hmm. And her biggest weakness, it becomes apparent that a lot of people compare her to her sister, and she can only compare her to her sister. And like no matter what she does work-wise, she just has it in her head that people are just going to think it's her sister's.
Until our boy comes in and saves a fucking day.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly thought someone was going to kill themselves in that episode because she looked over the edge too, and I'm like,
yeah, she looked very down. Also, still very depressing because you see that she's looking down and there's a girl
crying.
Yeah, weeping. And later, that same girl, you find out that she hadn't been eating and was hospitalized. Which is like, fuck. There's so much dark stuff. It's entertaining. Wait till we get to Platinum End.
Dude, that Buddha drawing that was super. That must be what 90% of the artist does. Like, I want it'd be cool if like this was the story of how this mangaka became. Oh,
yeah,
probably not, but you know, it's a really really good story.
Exams are close. Our main boy's been working very hard. We're gonna get ready and move on to a different show. The one thing I was gonna point out: this man got drunk on coffee.
Yeah, I don't know how he. Maybe there was alcohol in it?
No, I looked it up. Apparently, some people can be highly sensitive to caffeine.
Oh, really?
And if you like move past a specific caffeine threshold, there is such thing as caffeine intoxication.
How the fuck do I do that?
Lots and lots of caffeine.
Fuck, I've only pounded down coffee every day.
Yeah,
fucking bullshit.
I mean, we've increased our intolerance to it. But
bring me the big woman.
I was like, there's no way that's a real thing. And I paused it and like looked it up. I was like, that's real? That's when I was like, oh, you learn something every day in anime. Who would have ever thought?
I mean, this show was just educational to begin with.
Yeah. You know, that one wasn't really expected at all.
Luckily, this isn't a very under the ground show. I mean, unlike, some shows.
Mm-hmm. Also, there's 2 male characters in the show that are voiced by women.
Trying to set them up.
Hold on. Well, by the way, there are 2 male characters that are voiced by women in the show.
Yeah.
But yeah. So deep blue insanity.
Yeah, the shit fucking
deep
sucks.
Insanity, The Lost Child. This one's me.
It's about time he has his own show.
It's only my own joke because
sucks. It sucks on so many levels. It's the same thing as Battle Game in 5 seconds. Animation, they have some good Battle Game didn't, but they have some good animation. They have a good plot. Now let's just piss it the fuck away.
Mm-hmm.
They're missing. There's missing.
Current score on my anime list is sitting at a 4.98.
Show sucks.
So yeah.
They might be able to salvage it at the end of the season, but I'm not. I'm done. Unless you tell me it's better.
Well, that's the thing. Between 5 and 6, I know you said you got partway through 5.
I got halfway through 5 and was like, fuck, I'm done.
Like, I don't know if you saw it between 4, 5, and 6. Occasionally, there are these very like good moments where it's like, that's the right direction. Keep going that way. It's there. They just can't like stay on that track.
Well, even in the episode, was it 2 or 3 when they had to fight those snake things?
Mm-hmm.
They play. No, it's the first episode. They play up these 2 characters. They're the best shots we have. They can take out anything. Then they fight a mid-level monster, and they're both immediately taken out. But our new boy, which has 0 training, is able to pull it off.
Mm.
You can't do that with a mid-level monster that these 2 stronger people couldn't do.
Mm.
Now, if they were to say, hey, these 2 are going to scout around, and it's only you, then you can pull it off and have them come back in to help to then be like, okay, you did a good job holding off. You weren't strong enough to take it out yourself. Mm-hmm. That's different than he's strong. Next episode, he's not strong.
Yeah. The 3 episodes basically really push towards like
assassination.
Shigure was tasked with killing the little girl that they saved in episode 3.
Yeah.
And dude, there was a specific plot point at one point. I'm just gonna repeat words apparently today. My brain's real dumb. Of trying to figure out who Leslie was, their boss.
Yeah.
It was. I think we even had this conversation. Was like, is that a dude or is that a girl? And even in the show, they use they the entire time.
Yeah.
Episode 6, you get the resolution. So the guy with the glasses and the white hair, that in episode 5 was like, oh, that was a love interest. Yeah, he literally goes, because he's trying to kill him, see you later, ex-boyfriend.
Oh.
So Leslie is a guy.
I mean, it was kind of, it was kind of obvious, but it seemed like,
They really like toe the line a lot with Leslie's character.
Well, this is the problem. They're trying to incorporate these tropes of, let's keep it, you need to stop touching that shit.
I'm not making any noise.
It makes noise in the recording later on when I added. I'm sorry. I'm just letting you know. No, but it's like, this show, like I said.
Give me a gear shift.
What?
Give me a gear shifter.
It's going to be louder. I'm just going to hear you go.
Damn straight. Moving into high gear.
On to our next show. If you did that, then I would.
Be a good gimmick.
Yeah. That's how you change.
I might 3D print this shit.
The show, it's a few details away from being good. Mm-hmm. I don't know if this is based off a manga or a light novel.
It's an original source. So nothing.
You needed better. I think they needed better, not script writers, but they needed to like plan it out a bit better. I don't know if it was rushed. So,
yeah.
Square Enix has done good stories. Like,
well, the studio is Silverlink.
Yeah,
which they've also done some fairly good stuff.
But if they're partnered with Square Enix, you would think then they'd be doing something a little higher quality. Mm-hmm. Like Square Enix's last big movie was what was it? Final Fantasy 15 movie. They made a full feature-length movie that starts before where you start in the game. You watch the movie to get the background of the game, which I still haven't beat, but or Final Fantasy 14 because 15's the RPG.
Yeah, like Silverlink. I'm looking through some of the stuff that they've done. Jahi is fine. Like, it's very adequate. You don't see animation dips or anything like that.
It's a slice of life.
Yeah. But they've also done, like, My Life as a Villainess.
Which is getting another season here.
They did Beaufry, so they know how to do action.
The problem is not the action in this. The problem is the story. It's storyline.
Yeah. They've done, like, Kokoro Connect, which is hit or miss for some people as well, which might be part of it. But
I think the problem is
even then, it's still ranked to 7.79. So
yeah, I think the problem is they're just whoever they decided to direct it, the director should have taken more initiative behind the scenes and make a slightly better story. You never know. Maybe it's one of those things where you get to the last couple episodes and it's like, okay, some of it adds up, but for now, it does nothing. Like, I don't know.
Like the two producers, which is also the interesting thing, because you can have like companies be the core producers on it. Like it's Square Enix and then Bitgrove Promotion, which is like, oh, I've never heard of Bitgrove, whatever. I wonder what shows they've like kind of pushed and started. So they have 1, 2, 3 shows that are airing this season. One of them is Blue Period,
which is a much better story. Mm-hmm. So you know what? Maybe they just put all their time and effort into Blue Period instead.
Yeah. The other one, I don't know. Tashio Otome.
I gotta see it.
Otobanashi.
Oh, which, no, that was the one that we like looked at. That's going on this season.
Is it?
Yeah, that's going on this season. It was one of the ones that we looked at. A lot of people said it started real bad and it's getting better, but it's still not like anything great.
It's still ranked way higher than Deep Blue. So the fact that
Blue
or
Blue
Deep Insanity,
Deep Blue, the mashup between.
I was looking at Blue Period on there, but yeah, it's super weird that everything that there is to make a good show is there, but it's not being put into place.
Yeah.
Basically like forcing puzzle pieces in the wrong like location.
No, it really helps.
It's sad.
I think what would make the show better is if they put some markers down to where it could connect, kind of like in Sakugan.
Oh, I was going to move on to Platinum End because that's where that was on the list. But
it was Platinum End before Sakugan?
Sakugan's final.
Oh. Well, I guess I tried to end it early. Saved it.
Man, Platinum End got real dark.
Dude. Okay, I gotta say something. So so we watched episode 4, 5, and 6.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna bounce around on. In episode 6 when episode 5 when that dude shows up.
Yeah.
It's literally an old light Yagami.
Kind of.
It's like, guys, you gotta fucking get, like, not everyone has longer hair that kind of covers their eyes. Like, that's not what an edgy teenager looks like nowadays.
Look, I kind of am fine with the style.
Pick some different hair. Everyone's
that dude was dying. Who cuts their hair when they're like cancer patients?
Your hair would be gone.
No, your hair is only gone if you go through chemo.
He had hair he had cancer, he said, everywhere throughout his body, so I assume in his brain as well.
Well, yes, but you do realize the loss of hair is because of chemotherapy, not because, like, you have cancer so you lose hair.
No, I'm just saying a lot of, like, those drugs and stuff will fuck you up, too. Like, he didn't look like, even when he's on his deathbed, he still looked like he had just gotten his hair done and his makeup done, and it's like, come on, dude.
I don't think we were looking at the right people.
I'm just telling you should have looked more like shit for having cancer.
Terminally pretty shit to me.
Terminally ill, about to die.
Yeah. Sunken cheeks, like scruffy.
Did you not see his fucking, like, he was still like, listen, he should have looked a lot worse than he did.
It's whatever. Look, there are way more things to, like, be pissy about in this show. Like the fact that they murdered children.
They didn't just murder a child. They tortured a child and then murdered her.
Well, to be fair, lots of them. But,
yeah.
The one of the big ones. Yeah.
What was it? Episode 4 was kind of the end of the baseball stadium. Because last time we left off with, we're in the stadium. We're trying to find out who Metropolitan Man is. And this is the thing that's good about the creators. It's not like, I'm using Battle Game because it's fresh. Remember, we just used it. Battle Game, everything conveniently fell into the lap without setting it up in the background where you don't see it. Platinum ends, it happens in front of you. You just don't realize it. Like, at one point, Metropolitan Man grabs the girl, but he did a switch. Because before, they're like, oh, we can't shoot this guy with the red arrows because he's already been shot.
You can notice the switch, too.
Yeah. That's the thing. It's like, you just don't notice it the first time.
I did.
Did you?
Yeah, I was paying attention. I felt like it was too obvious in that particular instance, or it's like...
Oh, I always write notes because I fully type out notes. I don't... Do you? Really?
No.
Yeah. So that's probably why I maybe missed it.
I watch it all the night before, so it's fresh.
Oh, no. I watched that, like, as soon as, like, I was like, I gotta know what happens.
Oh.
Like, 86. I've just been keeping up with 86. To be fair, there was no episode last weekend.
Yeah.
But, no, that's what I like. It's not just conveniently working out. It's like you see it happening and it does happen. You either just don't notice it or, like, you're not sure how it pieces together. So it was a really cool switch of, like, switched him out. And the other dude, he's like, I shot this other dude with an arrow. He was just an actor. And now I'm here so I can shoot both of you. Which I didn't know. I knew, like, they could stack rings. I didn't know they could stack that many rings. Because he went from only killing, one person before?
Yeah.
Because he killed that one dude that was being a star, saying he was going to be God, to now in the stadium he killed 2 other holders of it, which was super depressing, by the way, too. Like, this show was definitely going down that started kind of lighthearted, a little dark, to, yeah, these 2 guys that want to beat Metropolitan Man want to be God because they both tried to kill themselves right after high school. I don't know what it is this season. I guess it is, like, end of the year kind of.
Yeah, well, in this case, for, like, Platinum Men, basically, like, almost all of the God candidates were at some point, like, lost souls.
Yeah. But, like,
so
some of these other ones, like, that's because now you're dealing with, like, teenagers and stuff versus, like, older people. And it's getting more real because there's a lot more, because it's like the little girl that gets killed was bullied at school and she, like, tried to kill herself. I don't think she fully said, but she was just a lost soul and she was being bullied every day. And then she's trying to fly to these 2 guys, be like, oh, I don't want to be killed by Metropolitan Man. That's my fear. If we work together, I'll be safe. To then Metropolitan Man comes out of nowhere, fucking hits her with a, red arrow. And then you think that's the end of it. And then Metropolitan Man standing there, kills one, shoots the other with a red arrow, chains him together, and I thought it was going to get gruesome.
Yeah.
Because,
With the girl who has the wings.
Because he tries to see how far he's just trying to get info, which is the whole thing about these guys. Like, they get info, you get info, but you don't understand what's going on with this info until they understand what's going on.
Mm-hmm. Then you get to that, like, it's I'm going to kill you to the guy.
And the guy tries to fly away, but he's handcuffed to this girl on one arm, and the girl's handcuffed to a metal post on the other one.
And these are like industrial cuffs.
Yeah. Like, there's no way these cuffs are breaking. And he's trying to fly away.
Wrists are, though, and they don't hesitate to show blood.
Did you listen to the sound of that? You could hear, like, popping. Like, it was very kind of subtle, like popping, some kind of cracking. I'm like, oh, is he going to rip her in half? Like, is he going to try? Because they can fly away fast. So there was a lot of, like, power to that.
They were fucked up.
Yeah, it was super fucked up. Now,
and then she gets killed.
Yeah, the guy trying to fly away gets killed. Metropolitan Man kills him. Then she is crying and begging for her life for, like, it's like, what, a solid 2 minutes?
Yeah.
The audience is in disgust. Because at first they thought it was a show. Then they're like, this is getting weird. And you're sitting there like, no one can see these arrows. The only people that can see the arrows are those other two.
Well, there
was a whole bunch of people, but like at the time you could only see the two. They do point out something cool in that. And because before I thought you could only have maybe like, you can share your wings and stuff. And they made it seem like, yeah, you can only share your wings that you have. But you can take other people's wings and have multiple sets. But they made it seem like you can only have one other set before you have to give it away. Nope, you can stack all of them.
I don't think the wings make you faster. But
Well, we don't know yet. Because you can stack the arrows on arrows and shoot further, which they explained in episode 5. Because you can stack one red on top of another red. And they even point out, like, yeah, you can shoot exactly 31.2 meters away. Or 31.6, whatever it was. You can stack 3 arrows on top of each other and then shoot 90 meters away, which will be probably very important later on. But I did like how the angels did try and take away the wings and the arrows before the guy could say anything. He's like, well, no, hold up. Those are mine. Give them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's such an outlier because everyone else is just trying to live their life, and he's like, I'll murder everybody. I don't care.
Yeah, I'm going to be God.
You do find out his motivation in episode 5/6. Yep. Basically, his little sister's dead and frozen.
Frozen. And like I wrote, she's like Han Solo right now, just in a fucking cryo.
Yeah. His goal is to become God by killing all of the candidates, so there's only him left no matter what, and then to just bring back the dead as God.
Yeah.
So his sister can come back.
Which at least they explain it now, because before you're just like, oh, he's an asshole. And it's like, well, it makes sense for his motives.
Yeah.
Because you're going to do anything to save, like, your family. But you find out the main character, what's his name?
Saki. Or
isn't Saki the girl he likes?
Well,
our main character, you find out, like, he's kind of a pussy.
Mirai.
He won't kill anybody.
Yeah.
Wait, you like Yagami 2.0? Or correction.
Well, no, because Light definitely was down to kill.
He's Light Yagami 0.25, because Light Yagami will fucking murder people and is super smart. I wonder what they're going to do, though. Because I hate shows that, like, the final fight is this whole elaborate thing, blah, blah. I like Death Note because at least, like, they're on the edge. Like, the whole time they're right behind each other. And then finally, L passes him, but then Light got lucky and is like...
Yeah, I'm not sure. We do get introduced to the man that doesn't last very long. Cancer Boy. I forget what his name is. I feel like every character, which is kind of interesting, though also admittedly a little annoying. Our main character is very much the hindrance in this show so far. But like that guy was like, oh yeah, I was super curious. So I shot my 14 arrows into 14 private eyes and sent them there to investigate.
But he did find info about a lot of other people. Because he had a list of people and their powers.
Yeah, and he never went there himself. And it's like, that's so smart. It's like, here's a list of parameters. You guys are professionals at this. Do this for me.
Yeah.
And that's how he was able to catch up with Saki and Mirai.
Yeah. The only thing he was like, oh, some of them flew away and we obviously couldn't follow them, but the rest of them, like, we know. And it's like, they could get like the rest of because there's 13 God candidates total, right?
Yeah. Well,
there were. So we lost 3 in episode 5. We lost 1 in episode 1.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 4. So that leaves 9 left, and we know who 4 of them are. So there's 5 other people we got to meet.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we know a picture of 1. So it's really, we're halfway through the season. We only have to meet those 4 left, which I'm sure we'll meet in the next couple episodes.
Yeah. Do you, Metro Polyman, his, or Politan. They always say Polyman.
Yeah, it's Metro Polyman. Because Metropolitan, isn't it like
ice cream?
Yeah, I was gonna say that's like an ice cream.
Look, I wasn't gonna be that dude to correct you. You said it a lot, but
I said Metropolitan a lot. I might have accidentally said
Metropolitan Man the entire time.
No, we'll go back through. Put right here if I was right. I'm gonna look through it.
You find out his real name. It's Kanade.
Yeah,
he looks like Nier from Death Note.
That dude, it's like come up with a new character design.
Older Nier.
Also, they're
very rich.
Their school uniforms are like way fucking out there. Yeah. Like we're talking like royal
prestigious.
Yeah. Like if you're
immediate perverts, by the way. Hey, you want to go check out some girls? Yeah, let's go.
Check out the middle school.
Yeah, check out the middle school archery team. It's like they're middle schoolers. What do you mean? That one's 13.
I wonder maybe it's a mistrans. I don't know.
No.
Was it straight out?
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if it was an accident.
Yeah. Nope. The middle schoolers. Because even then, you learn that you can't give your wings or arrows, in his case, he has extra, to another god candidate. They'd have to take it from you by killing you. But you can temporarily give it to a human by shooting them with a red arrow.
Yep.
And he gives it to a murderer because, of course, he's like Nier or Light and is actually testing shit.
Yeah.
And
this is where shit gets really dark.
Oh, God.
Like, you thought that little girl almost getting torn in half is dark. It's like dead little girls.
Yeah. So anyways, here's a lot of middle schoolers. They're all being basically raped and murdered by a woman.
That's one thing I wrote in this. I'm like, did we really need that extreme sexual, almost nude scene of middle schoolers?
Mm-hmm. I would assume they wouldn't do it a crazy amount, but it's one of those all right, you guys got a taste of hey, this is pretty fucked up. Because of course we did see the uncle or aunt kill herself and all of that, where it's oh, that's kind of dark, but it's hey, just a reminder, this shit is still really dark. And I think that was the remember.
Yeah. But then again, our investigator dude is super smart. He's they're oh, we got to stop her. And he's no. Because this is just a trap to pull in other god candidates to try and stop her because they know they could.
Mm-hmm.
To where he's going to kill us or she might kill us or there might be other god candidates waiting. You just can't.
Mm-hmm. Also,
his band was green.
I think they're all just, it's based on the color sort of
he's the only one with green.
Yeah, but his angel, Barrett, has green. Her eyes are green.
But he has all the powers, and so does our main boy.
Huh?
Our main boy has all the... So it's based on the powers you have, I thought.
Well, because the dude in yellow, he had a yellow band.
But our girl has yellow. I don't know. I don't know why it's green. It was just weird because he's
I'm assuming it's just kind of roughly matching the color of the angel.
Yeah. Also, they did point out that Metropolitan's band, Polyman. Now I'm thinking of Politan.
You said it, not me.
But dude, they even point out his angel's sexy. It's okay, guys.
Yeah, there was this weird thing where I thought it was interesting that there's 13 god candidates because 13 is kind of an unlucky number. That his angel immediately and very quickly out of they don't know why is what I'm getting at, shot from unranked to S rank. And it's that's very fishy. So assuming there's a plot there that
Yeah.
maybe it's not supposed to be a god candidate.
Yeah.
Because 12 makes sense.
I wonder if it's a thing of like, because, well, they even point out, like, it seems like some of the angels, the people they pick, do reflect kind of the angel's personality.
Mm-hmm.
Like, our main boy just hasn't cared anymore. His angel doesn't care anymore. The smart guy we meet, I keep forgetting his name, the new character we introduce, his is like the knowledge one.
Mm.
And then our main guy's god character is, she's extremely, sexy, but she's also mischievous. Like, she'll go behind the scenes, mess with stuff, and so does he. So it's like, I wonder if each god candidate picks someone similar to theirs.
I think the guy, the cancer patient, is Nanoto. And
Maybe, I don't know.
His
Cancer
angel Barrett, kind of hot.
Yeah.
Monocle looking good.
I saw that monocle and I'm like, why? They're angels, but you know what? Hey, cool. To each their own. We got an angel with wings
Fashion
coming out of his
sense.
butt.
Good fashion sense.
Yeah, but I mean, they're really digging in on that plot, kind of like Sakugan.
Oh, well, hold on, real quick.
We got to
before
make it quick.
Yeah, real quick. They go for a trap because the murdery girl's up on the top of the tower, and they expected one thing. Blew up the tower. So we don't know if one of the new guys was introduced is dead or not. I'm assuming that armor protected him pretty well from the blast. But that was one of those like, okay, we're just going to be like this, I guess. So yeah, that was just like a big thing where it's like, oh yeah, he doesn't actually care to like save her or have her continue to like to kill. She's just an explosive bait.
Yeah, she's just a pawn.
Yep.
Stuff with Tannerite and BBs. It'll work for the ATF.
Yep. All right.
Man, you agreed to something very sketchy.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm used to it. So yeah, Sakugan. I still love this show.
Dude, the show
There's something about the OP where you're like,
it's da-da-da.
Yeah.
It's just,
I'm ready for it.
it's a very up-to-date show. Like, even when it's dark or they're in trouble, it's still like let's go. Also, those kids very much could have been terrorists.
Yeah.
I didn't write too many notes because I was just watching it and just trying to focus on it. Because this is the one show that I'm like, I don't care if I write notes. I just fucking love this show. I think it's the most fun of the season show.
In 3 episodes, the cast has grown quite a bit.
Yeah, in 3 episodes, the cast has gone from just these 2 to 4.
Yeah.
Because we meet, so we watched episodes, 4, 5, and 6, and then technically 7 came out today for Platinum Ends and Sakugan.
Yeah, I didn't watch
But
those.
we didn't watch those.
Mm.
So anyone that's like, oh, you record on Thursdays, we didn't watch those. God, I love the style of the robots because
Zacalette's character looks hot. Just
Yeah.
gonna say it. But she's also
she kind of reminds me of the girl
scum, absolute scum of the earth.
she reminds me of the girl from Gun Gale. Kind of a very similar kind of build, what she does kind of thing. There's not like, because each episode is kind of its own thing, but the big takeaway from these episodes was you find out more about the old world because they mentioned the Roman Colosseum. Why is it tilted? It's like maybe they sunk all these things and purposely buried themselves underground. Because if you haven't seen Ting and Topa Gurren Lagann, which is a very similar style, because you've seen it, right?
No.
Basically, humans are forced underground. They dig. The above world has basically demi-humans, kind of, and they run the world. And the whole reason they stay underground is because they're like, oh, there's too many demi-humans. That's why we stay underground. Where in reality, spoiler for Gurren Lagann, it's fucking 20 years old. But they're like, if humans exceed a certain population, the spiral people will destroy the world and the universe and reset because they don't want humans to go above a certain amount. But demi-humans don't count. I imagine it's something like this where people were forced underground because of some bigger thing. Because they show these monsters off and there's only so many cities. It's like there has to be a reason because especially a Roman Colosseum would have only been built like that above ground.
Mm-hmm.
And they've kind of avoided that issue. And the same thing where we see this whole, it's a huge nuclear reactor, basically. It looks like the fucking scene out of Chernobyl where they have that whole chart. But there's only, when you look at it, there's only like 5 green circles out of like the 100 that are on that board.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe it's like 50. So like 5 out of 50. So my guess is by the end of the season, we'll get a second season. It'll end. We'll find this big kind of plot turn.
And you're already seeing part of the plot turn because they're like, there was a random scene. It was like in episode 5 where it's like, oh, they're being hunted by like marionette things.
Yeah, it's a weird thing.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that.
So because he used to be a marker, and a sad thing is you find out like he gets the same feels from these terrorist kid. Valkyrie, I think is what they called themselves. Yuri. Well, Yuri is the team, but what's the terrorist group that they like? I think it was Valkyrie or whatever. But these kids are trying to explore the world, change it, and then you find out, Gambu or not Gambu. God, that's from fucking Sweden. What?
Gugumber.
We argued about how to say this last time. We'll have to look it up again. But they say it different. Basically, her dad had a similar adventure where he wanted to change the world, and he was like, "Oh, we're gonna be king or whatever." And then his partner died. I don't think they ever confirmed it, but he came back to camp and there was blood everywhere.
Yeah, guy's name was Rufus.
Yeah, Rufus
was fucking murdered
brutally. So I wonder if Rufus knew something, and that's where the plot's gonna tie into these like marionette things that you're talking about. But also, like, his daughter's way too smart. Yeah, I have like 7 doctorates. It's like the bitch.
Yeah.
Come on.
I think we already argued about Memempu's name because I said Pa and you said Poo. I was like, "Ha, Poo."
They said again it was a Memempu.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think some characters said it different though. So I'll give you that. It's weird. They're very unique names. The opening's unique. The style of the robots are very unique in how they do it. And the cities are super unique.
There was a mafia boss that totally tortures using butt stuff.
Oh, yeah. It's like, you're going to get number 33. And it's like, whoa, hold up.
It's number 8. And everyone goes, and like covers their hand over their ass.
Dude, that whole mafia scene was just out of nowhere.
Yeah.
You know why God created men and women, Justus?
So they can make love?
And he gets turned on by 12.
You know what? I will give this man, he gets 12 turned downs. He's like, all right, engines are warmed up. And it's like, good mentality to have, I guess.
That man tried so hard.
Yeah. And unfortunately, the next woman he runs into is both hot and crazy.
A liar.
Yeah.
Now, my favorite scene out of the rejection, real quick, is, you know why God created men and women? Sorry, you're wrong, and it's the 2 lesbians. It's like, ooh, man, come on. Like, you should have seen that one at least.
Yeah. I thought of that entire thing. It was funny to me. I like even paused it because I was laughing. Zacalette's like, I gotta go because Memempu shows up, pours water on Cucumber, and it's like, all right, hey, did you tell about the daughter? She's like, oh, I gotta go. Mafia guys are out front, and then they come in and start shooting. And Mr. Bartender's fucking strapped, immediately ready to go down.
I did write notes on that. He literally pulls out a fucking ooze and he doesn't move. He just stands in one spot. I'm like,
yeah, I was like, what the fuck is going on?
This is the fucking bar that you want to go to. Fucking bartender knows her for sure because he's like, okay, here you go. Boop, back door. It's like, well, they start off the whole thing of like, this is basically the city that's centered around Italy because it's, underground. I imagine they're in Europe. I imagine that's how the whole city is just underground in Europe. They do, I think, with the nuclear reactor, maybe it was some giant nuclear event that happened up top, which is why they were all forced underground.
I do think the last place that they were at with Yuri, everyone was like, Yuri, hacker, like, cold. I think they're in Russia. It was probably everyone's kind of like.
Yeah, because they do kind of point at like, it's cool that like the whole necklace thing, it pieces together very well. It's a good story. It's funny. It keeps you going. God, I'm getting more and more worried about.
Mero is a character we didn't mention, by the way. He was the one. He's like a government agent.
Yeah.
That it had initially arrested them at the beginning of episode 4. That man was totally playing them like a fiddle.
Yeah.
Hey, do this thing for me. She's smart. Do it.
Yeah, do the same thing.
Yeah, she's all about it because it's like, oh, I get to show how smart I am.
They even pointed out, like, I thought you observed these situations. I am observing. as you can see, I am looking at it.
Yeah,
It's like motherfucker.
Fuck you.
He also made him carry a shogi set. So when they went to investigate the nuclear reactor, he's like, why am I carrying all this shit? He's carrying a shogi set, a full fucking tea table, like a table they can sit under, and a tea set. It's like,
Yeah.
And the hazmat suits. He had to carry the hazmat suits. And it's like,
Well, the biggest thing was the shogi table.
Yeah.
Because it's supposed to be solid wood, and it's like this by this, and it's this thick.
and the man carries that shit.
It's like, what the fuck?
But they do point out tradition, which they are like, hundreds and hundreds of years ago. It's like there has to be some overarching plot of these like marionette people we were talking about are purposely keeping people down below because they're not sure if the radiation or whatever it is has gone up above. Because they just now started mentioning this wind was created by we don't know what, and it looks like
The machines create.
it looks so
force the wind.
Yeah, it looks very Soviet era, like 70s. My guess, like I said, nuclear, maybe it was nuclear war, force people underground. I'm guessing that's going to be the plot overview, and her dad probably knows about that. So.
It was kind of interesting to see the underground forest, where it's like, oh, there are things that are like properly growing down there.
Yeah.
And then that's when you're like, oh, here's this section because the wind stopped blowing, like all the
Things
trees
are dead.
Yeah. And
but that's why I'm thinking like they're going to be forced to go above ground because all those reactors, there's only a few left.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, because that is definitely a plot for a, like that diagram is a, injected nuclear reactor. That is the diagram up on the page.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they said they have no idea what the technology is. And like I said, it could have been a civilization forced down there forever. Because nuclear reactors, if maintained, can go for a while.
Yeah. They did do a fake out with Mamimpu where she like basically gets radiation.
Nickelodeon gooed, basically.
Yeah, and it's supposed to kill within a couple of seconds. I couldn't immediately get invested. I was like, it's too early for the true main character to die. Like she's the most important thing.
Maybe I just get a little more emotional. I was like, oh my god, is she gonna die?
No, my brain immediately went, they wouldn't do that.
I think if the show was darker, then it would have been. But the show's too upbeat for it.
She's too...
Listen, episode 1, they fucking killed those people right away. They're like, hey, we can do this.
In her case, though, she's too important to kill off halfway through. Gagumber's too dumb. Like...
Maybe that's his character trope. Maybe he just acts like he's dumb.
I mean, look, he is fairly smart. He is pretty skilled at a lot of things. Clearly, like
picking up woman at the bar is his strength.
But like Mamimpu is the one that shines kind of like the most. He did, help give birth to one of the smartest humans probably there is right now.
I mean, 7 PhDs by age 12?
Yeah. So he got a pass on something, right? And
her hard-headedness in her forehead.
Yeah, I just couldn't immediately be like, oh yeah, they totally killed her. My brain was like, no, that's not what happened. And then our final episode where they're basically in like a Russia, like that was the other thing. It's like everything's equal, and communism.
That guy was corrupt as shit.
Yeah, he was corrupt as shit. Also, Jesus Christ, for stealing some bread, they beat him like Rodney King. What the fuck?
Yeah, they beat him a little too much.
I think he lost the arm because of that beating.
I think that's what it is too.
That's so fucked.
Well, I couldn't tell if he lost the arm because of the beating or he ran away from the orphanage and then got beat.
No, because he had both of his hands before that, and then
But he got the fake hands in the orphanage though.
Yes.
So it's like, oh, my thing isn't there anymore. I posted a thing in the anime topics because we're about out of time.
Yeah, but yeah, that was pretty fucked. Also, they go on like a stealing spree. Gagumber also eventually gambles away money and looks like an idiot.
Well, he gambled away money before.
Yeah, that was at the beginning of the episode.
Yeah, and then he was forced to work with him, and then
and then you get Zakalette back, and she doesn't do anything this episode. She just exists.
Yeah. Well, at the end of the episode, because this is where we're going into, and then we'll have to call it because that one's getting close, I think. But she and the guy from the Yuri team.
They his name is Yuri.
Yep, his name is Yuri, and he joins them on this. They're gonna all join on this quest.
Mm-hmm.
My guess is this.
She wants her $1 million.
Yep. She's like, don't forget your interest. He owed her $1 million, and then the interest was like 2.1 million.
Yeah.
So it was like $3 million total. It's like he doesn't owe you $3 million. He just helped you with that job. Like,
yeah. Also, no one said shit about interest. Also, if you weren't such a bitch, he wouldn't have been in a position that like you had to save him because of your problem.
That'll probably just be the running joke between them.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's I'll sacrifice myself. This is, you owe me money. I don't know. I think the show is not going to be, I don't know. I think as of right now, maybe it won't be a 1-season show. Maybe a 2-season show. Because I could see it being 2 seasons. There's so much still.
It is based on a novel. So
yeah.
Who knows?
I don't want to ruin it for Mushin Tenzin like myself. I'll fucking ruin that thing.
Yeah. But
Mushoku Tenzin.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. I think it's the most fun show of the season just to watch. Like, I'm excited to watch it.
Yeah.
It probably won't get anime of the year. There's just so many other. It's not saying it's bad. It's just shit. Demon Slayer season 2 starts in a little bit.
Yeah.
You're not gonna beat Demon Slayer. I think a lot of shows could probably beat My Hero this season. This season, My Hero is definitely a build-up to next season.
Mm-hmm. And next season better be fire or like.
My Hero needs to do something.
Yeah.
Because this season was kind of fire. Last season, there was some episodes.
Bone still does a good job, but I don't think they're putting all of the resources like they used to towards My Hero.
Yeah. So, and
it shows.
To be fair, next year is Attack on Titan season 4, part 2. That'll probably get anime of the year. But besides that, we don't have anything else. Minus, someone should buy me a Seiko Castle in the Sky watch. It's only $5,000.
No. So thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, give us a like. If you're new here, subscribe. Because there's only eight subscribers right now.
Subscribe.
Lots of you would
comment.
Be new here.
Comment. Yep.
Please. So we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.